Electricast.
There are people out there all across the country pushing boundaries to grow the game of golf. Like champion speed golfer Lauren Cupp, who plays faster than anyone else. And Will Lowry, whose work in the golf community inspires more kids to get into the game. As a champion partner of the Masters, Bank of America supports everyone determined to find out what's possible. In golf and in life. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America. Bank of America N.A. member FDIC, copyright 2025, Bank of America Corporation, all rights reserved.
McDonald's meets the Minecraft universe with one of 6 collectibles and your choice of a Big Mac or 10-piece McNuggets with spicy Nether Flame sauce. Now available with a Minecraft movie meal.
At participating McDonald's for a limited time, a Minecraft movie only in theaters.
Welcome into MTP Boston. It's Mike Marcangelo, joined alongside by my guy, Hollywood Rayshawn Buchanan. We're talking Celtics, we're talking Patriots. We have even a little bit of a Red Sox nugget that Ray wants to drop on you. But first, we're going to start with the Boston Celtics, who are absolutely on a tear. As we are recording this on a Wednesday night, the Celtics just mounted a pretty good comeback as of right now, and they are tied 55 all against the Detroit Pistons, second night of a back-to-back. But before that, they've won 6 in a row, 9 out of their last 10. They sit at 42-16, and their last victory was against, a 10-point win against the Raptors. So Ray, we're just gonna get right into it. Have they found that next gear that we saw last year that maybe we've been questioning, or what do you make of this last 10-game stretch?
That whatever swagger they lost in the middle, they're on the way to finding it back. I do think there's another gear that they can reach, and that's wild to say, but when you've reached the championship level, there's always different gears that you can reach. And it starts on the defensive end, right? I think that we were worried about offense and could they score away? We know they could score, but defensively they're starting to shut you down for possessions at a time, and that's been the best thing to watch. They've been able to find guys pockets of rest, so whether that be Holiday, Jaylen Brown at times, Porzingis, Big Al, and they've been able to really now find some continuity. And that's what the addition of Torrey Craig was about too, was just helping to find those guys some rest at the regular season, begins to end. So yeah, they've been killing it. I think that there's a lot more to come. I just think that there's not too many scenarios that they haven't seen. So as fans, we may panic and say it's their constant concern, but those 15 men in the locker room say, hey, we've been there before. We've played the most basketball of anyone in the last few years. We could walk into your arena and beat you. And it also can be hard to beat us at home, even though they haven't done it as well this season. But yeah, they're on a tear, and I can't wait to see what's next.
Yeah, I mean, especially with Toronto. Now, this shouldn't have been a big game, but I think the last time they were up in Toronto, there was all that talk about, players being out late at night. They didn't really show up for the game, and they lost. This time, shorthanded, they beat the Raptors by 10. And, it's Horford out, Porzingis out, Holiday out. But just talk about, the contributions from Pritchard. I mean, if he has not solidified himself as 6th man of the year, I don't know what it's going to take. Because he put 20 points up off the bench, and 4 of 13 from 3. But he's a problem. I mean, he is a real problem for opposing teams to handle. So, what did you make of the shorthanded effort?
I mean, I think, but that's what they've been, right? That's what they've been. I think even when we were on their heads, when we initially started the show a few years back. They always were better shorthanded, so it seemed, right? I think the focus was there, and they took teams serious. But I love that because it lets other guys get opportunities that they don't normally get, and you never know when your name is going to get called, not only for the regular season but in the playoffs. So I love that those moments have been created. Sometimes it's infuriating because you're like, oh my God, you're letting 5 bench guys out there get torched by 20, but it's not about that particular game. Is about, hey, we may need you to make a few energy plays. Think about Nate Robinson in 2010, right? Nate Robinson didn't play much here, when he got here, but Doc Rivers was saying, hey, Dave Robinson don't win us a playoff series. And that was one of the few times that Doc Rivers was extremely right, because he did. That Orlando series in 2010, conference finals, Dave Robinson scores like, I think, 10 or 11 in the second quarter of one of those games, and it turned the series around. So you may never know. Torrey Craig may have that moment. Xavier Tillman, who's been on the sideline, he may have another moment in this year's playoffs. So all this time that was valuable. It's not garbage time. It's experimenting to say, okay, can I put you in this predicament, and can you succeed if we put you there?
100%. I just think, when you have a night where the rest of the bench accounted for, I think, 12 points, and Pritchard comes off, plays 35 minutes, scores 20, and a lot of those, he was hitting buckets that they don't get the credit they deserve anymore, because we're just so used to seeing it. But it also leads me to the next question. Would Pritchard be a starter on a good team, or would it have to take a really bad team for him to be a starter?
There's a few teams I think he could be a starter on, but I think just how the NBA is so guard heavy, there's only a few. Like, he would start. He might start in Portland. Him and Anthony Simons. There's an outside chance that he would start next to LaMelo in Charlotte. I think there's a good chance that he would start in Miami too, right? Because he's as good as any guard they have there. He's better than Terry Rozier right now, anyways. So yeah, there's a few teams that I think that he could definitely start on. But sometimes you're best suited to be that higher gun. You think about Vinny Johnson, who ironically, they're playing Detroit tonight, but Vinny Johnson back in the day was the microwave. You think about guys like Robert Horry, who could have started on multiple teams, but came off the bench and was one of the best playoff performers of all time. So just learning to be a star in your role has done wonders for Payton Pritchard. And he's come a long way from requesting a trade. So I'm proud of him for continuing to stay in the gym and stay ready. And he's should be the runaway favorite for 6 Man of the Year. So I hope that he keeps the trajectory going, because he's on one right now, and that brother is special.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. I'm glad that whatever happened when you requested a trade, I'm glad that was put to an end. I'm glad he's still here, because I think obviously this team looks a lot different without him. And not for nothing, is it me, or is his defense getting better and better as the years go on? He's not going to be an elite, but he's serviceable.
Yeah, his just
rebounding. His rebounding is the thing that sticks out to me. Sorry.
Yeah, no, well, his offensive rebounding has been there from day one. Like,
yeah,
I remember his rookie year where they was in Miami, and he got the game winner off of offensive rebound down in Miami. So that's where he's been able to make an impact from day one. You can't make the leap he's made unless you have a confidence in your game, right? So, Brad kind of played him a little bit spotty. Ime played him a little bit spotty until that 2022 run. That's only see the Ime was here, but like he started to catch a rhythm during the playoffs against Milwaukee, and that kind of went on from there. And then Joe, who was there every day, saw what he could be and what he's been in practice. So, Joe said, okay, you've done this, you've been this guy. Now it's time to take it up another level. And that's exactly what he's done. So, and like I said, like any competitor, you want to play. So that's where that came from. That's why Terry Rozier was mad a few years ago. That's why, Marcus Smart had his moments when he was off the bench behind Kyrie. Like, as a competitor, when you make runs, when you know that you can help the team, it's harder to just sit there and wait. So, yeah, but like I said, his leap to become what he's become has made this team more elite than what we expected. So I'm thankful for that.
So the next 3 games, obviously this one included, is a pretty good gauntlet, a good test for this team. You got Detroit tonight, you got Cleveland and Denver. So what do you expect from the C's out of these 3? Is it possible that we actually clean sweep them, or where do you think the L comes?
I think so. You said it's Cleveland, Denver. Who's the other opponent?
So it's Detroit tonight, Cleveland.
Denver. Well, I mean, like I said, I don't know if the second half has already started, but I do think they find a way to win right here now in Detroit. I think they do beat Cleveland on Friday, and then they'll lose to Denver on Sunday. Denver's playing really well right now, and it's going under the radar because we're sick of Jokic. He should be the MVP again. He should be. Once again, if you're looking at the stats, if you're looking at just what he's doing on a nightly basis, he had 20 assists the other night. 20 assists from the center position. 20. Not 5, not 10. 20. 20 assists from the 5 position. So the dude is next level. I've been on the bandwagon for a while because I just felt like he is someone that just controls the game all over. No, he's not an elite defender, but he just controls the game. So I do have Denver coming in here winning on Sunday.
Do you have Jokic as the top 5 center of all time?
I don't know if it's top 5, but he's definitely in the top 10. He's definitely in the top 10 already.
Well, yeah. I mean,
so top 5 is hard because, like I said, when people can say what they want about the era and make whatever jokes, but when you win 11 times and you're there a majority of your career, that's going to keep him there in the top 5, meaning Bill Russell. We never seen anything like Will Chamberlain, obviously, until now. And it's just like, he's still a problem off the court. But on the court, he was something special. So he still should be in people's top 5. Shaq, regardless of the guy, Mad Dog Russo saying otherwise, which is insane. Once again, Mad Dog Russo knows too much about sports to make a claim about Shaq not being in the top 5. So I would love to get Mad Dog on here. We talk about that because it's unbelievable. The stuff that he said. Once again, he knows way too much to say that Shaq is not a top 5 guy. Like, that's insane. So yeah, you
think he believes that?
I do. I think he's and once again, he's not on a level of Skip Bayless as far as like the outlandish takes, but they're both convicted about what they say. So I absolutely believe that he believes what he's saying, especially when it comes to baseball stuff like that. Like, dude, he'll bring up guys like Warren Spahn being better than being better than Shohei Ohtani. Like that's just how his mind is wired. He's always going to give credit to the old era, which is fine. But it's just like, bro, like, gotta relax. But I would love to have that. So that
real quick, because this is going to tie into what I want to talk about mainly in the Celtics segment.
Yeah.
I want you to give me your top 5 centers of all time.
So, okay. So, Bill. Will,
is this from 5 to 1 or 1 to 5?
This is not.
You gotta rank them.
You gotta rank them.
Yeah.
Because some guys that I feel centers people may not think were centers. So like to me, Tim Duncan to me is 5. So I'll put Tim Duncan at 5.
Yep.
You just said once again, you can say he's a 4, but I'm like he played 5 once David Robinson left, and they won 3 more times. He's 5. He was playing with guys like Fabricio Roberto. Don't mean to give a straight to Fabricio Roberto because he had a nice little run in the league, but come on, like so. Okay, so cool. Duncan at 5. At 4, I would put Shaq at 4.
Wow, that's low.
Before well, because to me, Will and Bill were 1 and 2. So then I'm trying to think 3. I'm like, I'm drawing a blank on air who I would have at 3 because there's plenty of guys that I can think of. It's not. Oh yeah, there you go. Boom. Sorry, Lord. Wow. Yeah.
Damn.
So, no, I don't know why I'm wrong like that's crazy. But yeah, so Bill, Will, Kareem. Well, if you want to, actually no, let me switch that. Bill, Kareem, Will, Shaq, then Tim Duncan.
So mine is Bill, Shaq, Kareem, Wilt, Tim Duncan.
Okay.
We had the same ones.
Yeah. Yeah.
different order.
Yeah, but to me, if people say Jokic is 6, no problem, because he's right there.
Sure.
Well, if you want to say he's number 6,
So,
cool. Yeah, no
Would you
worries.
would you put KG anywhere on there? Because he played the 5, not
Yeah,
solely.
but to me, he's more of a forward than what Tim Duncan was, in my opinion. So no. And what's up a power forward is of a story. I'd put him in the category, but nope. Tim Duncan
Right.
was more forward to me at time.
So the reason that we conducted this little exercise is because over the last week or so, Jason Tatum has been in the news. He did an interview where he was just basically asked, like, do you think you're overlooked or taken for granted? One of his quotes was, quote, what I bring to the game on and off the court, I guess fits the criteria. I don't really want to insert myself into things that can be debated. Did he win a championship? Yes. Did he win a gold medals? Yes. Was he always part of winning seasons? Yes. Was he first team at All-NBA? Yes. Those are things that are hard evident. Yes or no? Face of the NBA, that can always be debatable, but it's like, I check off all the boxes. That's a direct quote from him.
Right.
So should he be the face of the league, and why do you think he isn't, or why is he overlooked?
So I seen someone make a comment. I don't know if it was on Reddit or on X. And I don't know if I didn't get the full comparison, but I kind of understood what they were saying. They was calling him the Tim. They said that he was the Tim Duncan of this era. And and if that's the case, okay. Like, okay, because that means we're gonna see 5 championships. We're gonna see constant winning. And he'll eventually get an MVP. Okay. Because Tim Duncan was also 27 when he got MVP. What do you know? Okay, cool. All right, I'll do it. I would gladly take that career. And people are saying, well, Jokic is more like Tim Duncan. Yeah, there's some stuff there. The only thing I would say, Jokic is a much better passer, which is wild to say, because Tim Duncan was a phenomenal passer from his position. But I mean, once again, the man had 20 assists the other night. Like, it's insane. But yeah, his personality doesn't warrant him being someone that people gravitate to for whatever reason. I don't know why. He just goes out there and ball. But for those that feel that way, I ask you, what Celtic superstar ever has been rash outside of Paul Pierce? Let me know. But even then, Larry would once again, we had many stories about how Larry would talk trash on the court, but it was like Larry wasn't interested in being the face of the league. It was how David Stern pinned him against Magic, and it became that cool. But I don't think if you ask Larry, like, oh man, like, I don't care about no damn face of the league. I'm trying to win championships. Like that's what I'm saying. Like that's the answer I feel like he would have gave back then. It's probably somebody's paper if they did ask about that. But I'm saying, like, it wasn't someone that was like, man, like you enjoyed Larry's game. But he played with flair, but I wouldn't say he was the flashiest guy. Magic was flashy. That's why people gravitated Magic. The bounce pass on the legs, the behind the back passes, like the hook shot, the baby hook shots, like that's what you identify with. It was like, okay, that's how they seen it. But yeah, I think that whether it was Bill, whether Dave Cowles, John Havlicek, we didn't really have anybody in the 90s like that, but I think had Antoine been the guy, well, I mean, longer, had he been the guy longer, we would have thought him a different light. But yeah, that's not what we do up here. It's just not in general, not in basketball anyway. We've had some other boisterous guys in other sports, but in basketball, it hasn't been that. And once again, Tatum shows up. He's there all the time. He wants to play. Wants to be the role model for young and upcoming players. So I don't get it. I think it's the market that he's in, because once again, had he been in Miami, had he been if he was a Laker and doing this, it would have been looked at differently. But because it's Boston, because in this era we have been the most hated city sports wise, so no one has touched our success sports wise. Once again, not an opinion, that's a fact. And the words of my partner tonight, scoreboard, it's truth. So, get with it or get lost, so to speak. But
it's just,
Oh.
It's wild to me though, right? Because you see a guy like Jason Tatum who isn't going to be boisterous outside and say like, I am the face, blah 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 blah, and you have a guy like Anthony Edwards who is basically a more vocal version of Jason Tatum, and he's saying I don't want to be the face of the league. So do you think the NBA right now has a problem with identifying who it is? Because it seems like this may lead into a longer discussion, but it feels like to me the NBA is really fixated on keeping LeBron the face of this league. Even though, in my opinion, LeBron James has not even been the greatest player of his era. And I'd argue that with anybody. Right now, in the future era, you have guys like...
You say he has been the greatest of his era?
Yeah. Yeah. How has LeBron James changed or redefined the game of basketball?
No, what? Okay, so maybe I'm missing how maybe it's how you're wording it, because it's just like, was he not the best player in the league for a number of years?
Sure, maybe, but not.
Absolutely. What
would you say?
From the first year, or even to me, even before they won in 2012, he was it. The dude was doing stuff. It was unreal. But he got that Cavalier team to win 60 plus games. And
but
best player.
like,
this is wild.
You still would have gone to head. You still would have taken Kobe over LeBron. I know it. I know for a fact you would have.
Well, for a certain stretch, absolutely. I think because obviously LeBron came in 03, and I think Kobe was the best player in the league then, right? So Kobe was the best player. I would say from 03 until
probably 2010
when they beat us in 2010, right? Lakers,
yeah.
Right? So, okay, cool. But from 2011 to I would say really the rest of the decade, the man went to 8 straight finals. He was a part of every final. If you had him on your team, you were going to the finals, and you had to get shots to win it.
Sure.
To me, that makes you not a guy, in the words of one of our favorite wrestlers, not a guy, but the guy.
But isn't it fair to say that? I would say that LeBron's been in the league since 2003, and I would say that the height of his powers were 2012 to 2017. Right?
Yeah. Some long, when he was like, I mean, just completely, you just knew he was going to make the right play every time. He no longer cared about not making the final play. Like, yeah, those 6 or 7 years, he was just like, you can't fuck with me. Yeah, essentially.
Sure. Mm-hmm. And in that time, he won 3 championships, right? Which is good. Great. We'd kill for that up here. But then, like, Steph Curry came around. KD. KD was statistically a better basketball player, I would say, from 2011 through the end. Statistically, he was better than LeBron. So my point to you, the reason why I'm bringing this up is that the league has made a concerted effort over the last, let's just call it 10 years, to keep the face of the league as LeBron James. When clearly, in my opinion, he is not the face. He should not be the face. He's not. Maybe he's the most well known, but that's just because we anointed him. Not me, but they anointed him the next MJ in 2003. And quite frankly, he's never lived up to that. But this is just a long way for me to say, it feels like they don't know who the next face of the league is going to be. You got guys like Ant, who very well could be, but saying, I don't want it. Tatum saying it should be me based on the stats, but it isn't for whatever reason. Right. So who is it?
You know what's funny? I think they were trying to push towards John Morant, and then that stuff happened. That's how I feel. I think he was going to be the guy. And that's how I feel. I think he was going to be the guy, and unfortunately, because the stuff with the gun issues, which really wasn't a gun issue, when he shot somebody, he was just waving shit in the air, like an idiot. But
right.
I think he was going to be
the most important part of that statement is the last part of it, like an idiot.
Oh, like when you cost yourself over $40 million, yeah, that's an idiot thing to do. Absolutely.
So, like, so
do you think it would have been Shaw? Because people have amnesia, because people was like, oh, and like the last time John Ant played in the playoffs, we think John Morant's team won. Fact, check. just go. It's there. YouTube is your friend. Like, so. I'm a fan of John Morant. I think that he would deserve it. But yes, if we're saying that, and we've given it a lot of other context, and I can't wait to hear the comments on these because it's going to be they're going to be the Braun hive is going to be in full effect on you on this one, sir. So you thought you thought the Luka thing was crazy.
We'll talk about.
They're going to be here.
We'll talk about my doppelganger in a second.
Funny.
But yeah, we'll talk about my twin in a second. But like, what the reason why I bring this up is like, Jordan was the face of the league after Magic and Bird, right? He was the most dominant player on the most dominant team in his era, and it was never questioned.
Right.
LeBron was anointed that, but actually was never that. The league just kept trying to tell us this. He was never the most dominant player on the most dominant team in his era, consistently. He always ran up against Tim Duncan and the Spurs. He ran up against Dirk Nowitzki and the Mavs. He ran up against the Golden State Warriors. Steph Curry. My point is, who is the next face? If it's not Tatum, if it's not Ant, if Ja can't keep his pistol in his pants,
I'm not looking further than 100 Causeway Street. I'm gonna say it's Tatum. Once again, we're not a part of the media, but like I said, we
this is media.
No, we're not full time media, but we're our time. Let me say that.
Sure.
Full time media, but we are part of it. But no, I'm Brian Bazero. Let's name it. He's done everything.
Besides winning MVP. Is that
right.
it? Do you think that's it?
It's like, once again, Tim Duncan won in 27 as well. So, and he should have had one before then too.
Right. But like,
right.
That might be the thing that's holding him back, right? Because Jordan, up until this point, up until age 26, was averaging 32 points a game, 6 assists, 6 rebounds.
Well,
no championships, but he had an MVP.
Sure, but he was losing, to your boys in Detroit. He was losing. He lost to us in the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
Oh, he was James Harden. And it was like I'm not saying that for the hot take. That's what it was. James Harden. Look at the number James Harden was putting up in Houston. 35, 36 a night. That's once again, that's not an exaggeration. He was rocking James Harden before, Scotty developed, and then they just went on an absolute run. So, and that's okay, because like I said, we still would have seen him as, an all-time great, obviously, duh. But yeah, by his third year in the league, yeah, he was giving people 40, 50 a night easily. And yeah, I think people, David Stern said, okay, this is the guy. Because once again, it wasn't, Zeke was too small, even though he was, a really good player. Charles Barkley wasn't corporate enough because Charles Barkley had the personality for it, right? Just like okay, Ant got the personality for it, but are you polished? See, Michael Jordan was polished. Jason Tatum right now was polished. You need to have that decorum to be in those rooms with certain organizations, because you're gonna get those sponsors. So it's much more than just what are you doing on the court for 48 minutes a night. So there's a lot that goes into it, but it should be Tatum. Once again, the league in general is gonna be in good shape once LeBron walks away, anyways. I'd argue that Jordan is still considered the face of the league, not LeBron.
Right.
People will still talk about Michael.
Yeah, because fans of sport are
that's a problem.
Well, the only reason that's happening is because fans of sports are just like fans of professional wrestling, where if you shove something down our throat, we will fight back. And we were told that LeBron was the next Jordan, and by the league. And listen, I think LeBron, I think he's obviously he's top 5 all time in my opinion. He's not top 2. But he's top 5 all time. But the problem with him, and I don't know how this is going to turn into a LeBron segment, but here we fucking are, is that the all-time greats never told you that they were great. They just were. LeBron's told us publicly that he's got to be considered the greatest of all time. Yes. I'm sorry.
It was as fans, analysts, fine. That's cool for us to say. But what is he supposed to say?
What did Jordan say?
You don't think Jordan was telling motherfuckers that he was the guy?
he wasn't telling
he
he wasn't telling the press. That's my point. So Tatum is being held back and by not being the face of the league because he's not overtly saying these things in the press.
Mhm.
Whereas LeBron did, but Jordan didn't. He just let his game speak for himself.
Yeah, listen, the NBA will always tell you who they're trying to let. So I think about the Dream Team, right? Jordan, Stockton, Malone, Pat Ewing, Chris Mullin. Well, no, Reggie Miller was on the Dream Team too, but
Magic.
Well,
Larry.
but it was all the time. But it's just like they was when they put that on there as a Dream Team, they was telling you right then and there who was going to be the next guys to be on TV all the time, right? You know, Stockton, Jordan, and Barkley were on the '84 draft. Ewing, Malone was on the '85 draft. I think Chris Mullin and some others like on the 80. Like, so they was telling you, like, hey, these guys been in the league 5, 6, 7 years. Like, and we saw in the documentary, Mike came into the room and he told Bird and Magic, hey, there's a new sheriff in town. And Magic was like, well, you weren't lying. So they knew. So, they knew. And I think people were holding on to Magic at that time too, until he beat Magic in the finals. And it was like, he might be the guy. Yeah. So maybe, and this is a really weird way to get to this point, but I'll say it. Maybe if it turned to be Celtics Lakers in the finals, and he beats LeBron, cool. Maybe we crown him then, and I'll take it. And we can't say, oh, because it's 40-year-old LeBron. 40-year-old LeBron and still give you 25, 9, and 6 a night. He's not slowing down anytime soon. And I would not give him that out. Once again, yes, he's older. Yes, he can't do it every day like he used to, but he still give you 25, 9, and 6. He's still one of the best players in the league. And he's still playing at a high level. So this is not something where he's out the back door. He's on the back nine. But he has not hit a triple bogey yet. He is still very much a birdie or a hole-in-one type guy when he wants to be. So that was for you, big guy.
So for you, would it take, do you think the only thing, just to put a pin in this conversation, is the thing that's holding Tatum back? No, the lack of an MVP?
I think in some people's eyes. And also the 22 finals, which is wild because now they've won this, but I get it. Like let me take that back. We held 07 against LeBron for years too, because they got swept against the Spurs. And then we held that. People still hold Dallas against them, and he's 1-4, and people still give a shit about Dallas. So, it's I don't know, but I think it's the not winning the MVP. You still have folks that believe Jaylen Brown is better. Whether people agree, but that's not for us to debate tonight. But some people believe that, and then what happened in the 22 finals. So those are blemishes on his NBA record right now. Even though he's been to 6 conference finals, like they mentioned this morning on national TV. 6 conference finals, 2 and 1-1. Unreal.
And 4 all NBA teams, 6 All-Star selections, a gold medalist.
So it's going to be fine, but he's going to be first team again. Like, what are we talking about? And I want to say this because we didn't talk about it because we got into other stuff, and that's fine. There's not a weakness in this man's game right now. There's not at all. So as a playmaker, and that's why I want to bring it back to you, because for those that have been long-time listeners of the show, right now we want to say thank you. But this is giving Mike his flowers in the moment. Mike has religiously said, "Can you dominate the game having 16 points, 7 rebounds, 8 or 9 assists?" Well, guess what, Mike? He's doing it now. He's doing it, and he's
right.
getting close to triple doubles. He's had like 35 assists the last 2 games. Like, and it even started before that, but it's starting to just pile up. So just speak to what you've seen with that, because like I say, you were someone that was harping on that very early, and saw that he can take that, saw that would help him get his game to the next level. So just speak on that.
Yeah, it's just one of my biggest gripes with him early on was when it's just comparing him to JB. It's just like everything that that Jaylen Brown does well, he has to work hard for. Tatum can just do it. He's just naturally gifted. And early on in his career, even up until we'll just call it the 2022 season, he was taking 22 shots a night, 23 shots a night. And I just said, I wonder what would happen if he decided to buy into the Larry Bird program. And like Dan Shaughnessy said this to us when we had him on, so you can go back and listen to it.
Mhm.
Larry could dominate a game and only take 12 shots. Like
Right.
he'll put up, 18 points, have 10 assists, 9 rebounds, and he dominated the game. So over the last, I would say, year and a half, we've seen Tatum do that. And everything that I ever wanted to happen from him in his game has happened. It's no longer the ISO ball. Like when he's
Mhm.
taking his deep step back threes, for the most part, now there are still some aberrations to this, but for the most part, there's a screen in front of him. He's getting some separation. Like that's the play. I'm fine with it. But
Mhm.
his game has become so elevated because he knows his place. He is the best player on the court.
Right.
But the best player on the court does not need to score all of the points.
Right.
You
Right.
are only as good as your teammates. And I would say, obviously over the last 2 years, he's elevating everybody. Everybody's getting better because of him.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
I was right. I was right.
Yeah. No, I mean, but that's why I wanted to highlight that. Whether it was a Porzingis point a while back, whether it's this, things that not everyone was paying or having a trained eye to because there was only one or two things that they were focusing on. But we've always been a fan base up here that appreciates the player being complete, regardless of sport. So football, baseball, basketball, hockey, whatever. Like, can you dominate in all areas? And we've seen it, and that's why the demand was high, right? He is someone that once again has been committed to getting better. So whether that's his stuff that he's been doing with Drew Hanlon, whether the stuff that he was doing with Missoula before Missoula became the head coach, the stuff he's done with Sam Cassell and Charles Lee when Charles Lee was here, like they've really done a lot of work with him behind the scenes. He's gotten more comfortable each year, and now we're seeing that almost finished product. And once again, he's just about to turn 27, next week. So, he's got plenty more bullets in the chamber, and we're at the right place at the right time to watch it as Celtics fans. And once again, enjoy this, Celtics fans. Enjoy this because, like I said, we're still very toxic on Twitter. We won't have this duo for a long time after they're both gone. We just won't, because that's not how it works. So
Unless
you can't just poach guys on the team like the Lakers. So that
I mean,
doesn't happen. It's not realistic.
Unless Brad or whoever the GM is at that time decides to do what Danny did and trade them, trade one or two of them at the end of their career. I hope they're here for another 10 years. That'd be great. Then 9 years from now, you trade them.
Well, they deserve. I mean, even though they ain't playing for other teams too, but they deserve a Jordan and Pippen type run. They do. Obviously, we're not expecting 6. It'd be great to win 6, obviously, but like they deserve a Jordan and Pippen type run where you just played for 13, 12 years together.
Pippen's run with the Trailblazers is often overlooked, but it was he was
it was cool. Excellent. It was excellent. It was excellent. It was cool. They were knocked at the door, several times with him there, and but it runs that big guy in the middle and the guy with the fro. So
that was the bad Kobe.
And even then he was still like it was man, what a time. But I'm excited to see what he does going into the playoffs. I hope that he goes in with something to prove. Because he's been very disrespected the last year.
The only thing on his mind, obviously, for winning a championship, because that should be the number one thing. We agree with that. It should be to win conference finals MVP and finals MVP. Like, leave no fucking doubt this year that we win because of him.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this because like I said, we're removed from, but I remember how we were in the moment last year with it. But the only thing I'll say, and I think Dave was the one who said it, but I think I remember I agree with this. It was just a funny stat, and I didn't know until after the series. But we had never had someone lead their team in points, rebound, and assists and not win MVP. Unreal. So
Well,
that less. No, I'm saying no. I'm like I said, there's obviously there's more to the thing, but I'm saying like when you think about that and how long this league has been, lead the team in points, rebounds, and assists. And once again, as fans, we could feel what we feel because we watched the game and cool. That's not. But for the writers or whoever to look at that and say he led in points, rebounds, assists, had 31, 11, 8 in a closeout game. And they said, and that's why I said what I said at the end. I was like, they were hell bent. It didn't matter. Like, as long as JB played consistent, he played great. He was awesome. I said, as long as he played good, and because of how they disrespected him earlier that season last year, but him not being an All-Star, and him not being an All-NBA, they was going to make sure that he was going to be the Finals MVP. And I'm glad because I meant that we won the championship. That's great. So now we need to do the same thing for Tatum because y'all disrespected him. Now you need to do the same thing. If his numbers are up to par, he should be the MVP for both rounds. Because like I said, he's been that good. He's been that good.
I agree. You gave me a chance. You gave me my flowers and to kind of revel in some past victories. I'm gonna do something similar, although I'm gonna give you the opportunity to walk something back that you said.
Right.
The disparaging remarks that you've made about the Cleveland Cavaliers this season. Especially when we had the voice of the Celtics, Jrue Carter on. You can go back and listen to that. That'll be in the show notes as well. But I'm going to give you the opportunity to admit that they are a formidable team and they're not going away. Or give you the opportunity to say, nah, fuck that. I'm still right about them. But the floor is yours. They're 48-10 now. They're not faking it.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, that was early January we did that. So, yeah, they have solidified themselves as legit contenders. I think there's people that, and this is not my thought process. I just think that this is where some people are going with it. Because of what I compared them to. I compared them to the old school Cavs that had Brad Daugherty, Mark Price, Craig Ehlo, Hot Rod Williams. They had a really good team, but they just kept running into guys. Whether it was Jordan. I don't know that they ever played the Knicks with Ewing in them, but they just ran into teams that just had better stars when it mattered. It is possible that they could be the 2015 Hawks. And for those that are younger and forget how good the 2015 Hawks were, they were very similar to this team now in Cleveland. Now, Cleveland now is going to have a better record than that Hawks team. I think that Hawks team was 16-22. And then they got swept in the conference finals by the Cavaliers, led by LeBron James. They're close. They're closer to that than the old school Cavs that I was comparing them to. And the reason why I say that, I'm not sure. Once again, I trust Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
I like Kenny Atkinson as a coach. I think that he's an amazing head coach. I don't know what type of Darius Garland you're going to get. I think sometimes he's Jekyll and Hyde. I like Evan Mobley. I like Jared Allen, and they're a very good 1-2 combo in the front court. But I say that to say, it's possible that they're reaching their peak right now. And if that's the case, then yeah, they could very well be someone that loses in the second round or gets to the conference finals and loses in the six games. So, are they legit contenders? Absolutely. Do I believe that they'll beat the Celtics in a 7-game series still? I don't. I think that when we raise to our level of play, and move the ball and play locked-in defense, there's not a team that can beat them 4 times. You may get a game or 2, but you're not beating them 4 times. So, there's not much to walk back there. It's giving the credit where it's due. They've had a hell of a season thus far.
Well, you were. Admittedly, you were dismissive of them both in December and in January.
And we saw earlier this month that we came into their building and did exactly what I talked about. So I was like, okay, which is why when they got DeAndre Hunter, because they looked at that and said, oh, we don't have enough. Right, you don't. So that's what I'm saying. So And DeAndre Hunter still may not be enough because Tatum was cooking him the last time they faced each other in 2023 in the playoffs. So, kudos to Kobe Altman for thinking ahead and making that move. Because it was a big time move, but they saw that game and said, we don't have enough. We don't have enough horses, and you don't because if you don't have to win to guard Jaylen Brown, Cancun is on your horizon, and I still think Cancun is on the horizon. Instead of them losing in 5 or 6, now maybe it goes 7. But either way, I once again I've seen Tatum and Brown and Brooklyn deliver on game 7s. I trust them in any building, and you should too, especially on the ring.
I do. It just felt, the reason why I wanted to give you the chance to kind of air this out again is that it felt like up until now, you had not even given them their due that they could push it to 7. It's just like you actually said to Jrue, "No, I'm not worried about them. Don't matter. I'm not worried about them." I mean, and at that point in time, they had lost 7 games out of 40, something like that. And you're just like,
but right after we had that interview, they hit a rough patch. Now, granted, they've laid the ship a little bit, obviously.
They've won 8 in a row.
They have to play this well because they need the home court advantage fully. They need it. And once again, they struggled with Orlando last year. It's the same team. It's outside John Gianna. They went 7 with Orlando in the first round. So that team they still have to learn how to win. Nope. And yes, the regular season definitely matters, and they're learning different scenarios that have helped them win games. But depending on who the 8 seed is, once again, let's for instance say if Miami sneaks in to be an 8 seed, right? Obviously Miami's not what they once were because you lost Jimmy Butler and other guys are getting acclimated to be on the roster. We knew that Spoelstra can coach them to get a game or 2 in there, and now you just never know because now it's like, well, shoot, damn, we should have swept this team, and now we're not getting as much rest as we should because we done tricked off 2 games. So I just think, to me, once again, they're gonna still have a learning process, but like I said, Kenny Atkinson's done an amazing job. Once again, he had those guys in Brooklyn play really well too. So once again, it's there. But once again, I trust the defending champions. And once again, no one's played more basketball than them. No one has been in crazy situations than them. And once again, YouTube is your friend, ladies and gentlemen. You've seen Jason Tatum come into your favorite team's arena and end your season. So it's okay. It's all right. You've seen Jaylen Brown come and give your team 40. It's okay. You've seen Derek White hit the game-winner shot in the corner or a game-winner of the layup. It's okay. Whatever situation you could think of, they've been in. We're good. They're good. So let's see come May. Let's see come there. I know what our team's capable of. Can you match that?
Okay, love it. One last NBA note. Give me your reaction to Luka's performance, triple-double against his old team, the Mavs, in LA.
Loved it. Loved when, and I love that it was that. I love it was right after too. Like I'm glad it wasn't like in April. Them facing him like from last game. I'm glad it was still in a throw bit where both teams are fighting for playoff position, and Nico Harrison looked like a deer in headlights because all the pictures they've shown in the videos, he looked so stupid. And I'm like, I love that he didn't acknowledge him. I love that he was out there doing push-ups. And it was very WWE style. How it was very performative. Loved it. So. The Lakers they're in playoff contention. They're a really good team. They're a really good team.
I mean, they're 8-2 in their last 10. They're going to go to the 4th seed.
Yep.
Right?
So and this is the last tidbit because people once again because he's a Laker coach. JJ really got to be coach of the year. I'm sorry, and I get it. It's the Lake show. It's the first. I get it. With JB Bickerstaff, I think last time I checked, Detroit was up against us still. But what JB Bickerstaff has done in Detroit, there's no way he's not coach of the year.
Yeah, they're up 18 on us as we record this.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, so that is about over. Okay, got it. So, yeah, that they like I said, they blitzed them early on. Celtics gave a good run, but like I said, them boys were rested. They won 7 in a row. This is a big prover game for them. So, okay. Once again, we'd love to see them come playoff time. We'll love that. I think Cade Cunningham is really talented. Malik Beasley's been really good for them. Isaiah Stewart has some good toughness for them. So yeah, that'd be a good first round opponent if they get the 7th seed out the out east. So I think they're 6 right now. But yeah, they've been once again what JB Bickerstaff has done down there. And once again, wins like this put you in that coach of the year category. He absolutely should be that person for them, in my opinion.
I just want to point out that last year the Lakers were 47-35.
Yeah.
And right now, JJ has that squad at 35-21. So they are on pace to do much better than they did last year. So are you biased against JJ winning coach of the year because he's the Lakers head coach? Because he's a first-time coach. Like to come into that situation is pretty formidable.
No, for sure. Like there's a lot of pressure because of what that market demands, right? You know, you've had guys like Paul Westphal who won a championship and was gone in 2 years because Magic wanted Pat Riley. Once again, that was the right decision.
Yeah, good choice.
Duh. You know, look back at it, and then obviously, you know, they had Del Harris for a while. He gets let go. Oh, some guy named Phil Jackson comes in, they win again. So you know, they go for usually go for the names. JJ was a decent player, obviously, in the league, but you know, wasn't someone that you always wrote home about. But yeah, we've seen his mind for the game through his podcast and what he was saying on First Take and other shows that he was a part of. So, yeah, he deserves a lot of credit. Detroit was 14-68. 14-68. He didn't take over a Laker team that was 23-59. Then I'd have been like, all right, you know what? Okay, that makes a lot more sense. But you're a Laker town, you know, whatever, cool. 14-68, it had been bottom sellers for a number of years. And once again, he got pushed out of Cleveland, meaning JB Bickerstaff, because he wasn't considered to be a good coach, or that he had maxed out his potential there with Cleveland with that roster. So to go from there, where now they're on a historic run for their franchise, right? They've had some good teams in that past, but this is one of the better teams they've had in their team's history. But then you go to, you leave there, you go to Detroit, and now they're about to be winners of 8 in a row now. Cade Cunningham is playing at an all NBA level. Jaren Durant is playing well. Isaiah Stewart is playing well. You know, they still got, guys like Jaden Ivey. Like, they're building something there in Detroit that Monty Williams couldn't do, that Dwayne Casey couldn't do, that Stan Van Gundy couldn't do. Should I keep going on? Like, there's so many names that they had through there that couldn't do anything. And I think this is the longest streak they've had in this 2015. When they went to the playoffs and they lost to Cleveland in the first round. So to me, there's a lot of stuff in that adds context to why JB should win it. But if JB Bickerstaff does not win it, then yes, the consensus choice, the next man should be JJ Redick.
All right, I'm with you. Moving on to the NFL. I had a couple of things I want to talk about, but I think the first thing that we should talk about is the NFL released their report cards for the team as voted on by players. Mm-hmm. The Patriots last year were 29. They come in this year at 31st out of 32 NFL teams. So I guess there are some signs of progress, right? Like following last year's report, Robert Kraft announced a $50 million new investment into a new facility next to the stadium. They received an F- last year for treatment of families. That's now up to a C+, so that's a great improvement. But let's just kind of go through this, right? So treatment of families, grade C+, rank 18. Food and dining, 24th out of 32. Nutritionists, 25th out of 32. Locker room, 22nd out of 32. Training room, 30th. Training staff, 26th. Weight room, dead last, 32nd. Strength coaches, 26th. Team travel, 31st. Head coach, 24th. Ownership, 29th. What do you make of this?
We might be here another hour. Oh, I'm joking, Holland. But man, it made my head hurt reading that earlier, or even listening to you now just say enough. Oh, I think the first thing is that I didn't realize that they had felt that highly about Gerard Mayo, right?
Yeah,
You
just sorry to cut you off, but 93% of Patriot players feel that that Gerard Mayo was efficient with their time. What?
So it's conflicting because obviously we heard so many stories come out standard, which is why I think Chantel, his wife, said, hey, we're gonna have our story, it's gonna come out, whatever. So yes, there's always two or three sides to a story: your side, their side, and then the truth, right? So cool. I'm glad that he got someone vindicated here. Because maybe that propels him to get another job somewhere else. It just shouldn't have been here. He wasn't ready here. That's once again not an opinion. That's a fact. The team travel was jarring as well. Once again, Robert Kraft is not hurting for anything financially. Hasn't been for a long time.
Yep.
That when it comes to lost profit, there's no way that he's in the red. There's no way. But this is why I went on a rant that I went on at the beginning of last year when I was like, we're more concerned about the lighthouse. We're more concerned about Red Robin. What? Red Robin? What? I said Red Robin. We're more concerned about restaurants and movie theaters and cosmetic stores than what's going on the field. What's going on the field will always be the main attraction. Always. So the fact that you neglected the product on the field for everything surrounding is insane. Because guess what? In this city, in this region, when all of the teams are going well, once again, we're going to support regardless, but the money would be flowing for sure if the team was still, 11-6, 12-5, 13-4. They're going to come. Especially even when it's 20-degree weather. And that wasn't happening last season or the season before. But you can rest assured, if they're in contention this year at 12-5, say, let's put that random number out there, they'll be there in December. They'll be there.
12-5. Fuck.
Yes. No, I'm saying that was the case. And that was the case. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think 9-8 to get them in the building. Hey, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like that. That to me would show major signs of progress. But it's like that's where. I'm glad Vrabel didn't make the same mistake by saying, we're going to burn some cash. But he's putting the pressure on the front office to get the job done. Elliot Wolf thinks, I'm the one that makes the final say. Okay, buddy. That whatever makes you feel better, buddy. You're like, hey, it is number 50 who is making that decision. You're a pawn on the chessboard, buddy. You're a rook. Fuck out of here.
You're under contract, and Kraft doesn't like to pay people to sit at home. So that's what that is. But back to just the grades on this. I think you mentioned the team travel. The fact of the matter that they rank 31st out of 32 teams. Did you read some of the feedback?
I just saw the grades on the surface. I didn't go through the feedback part. No.
All right. So team travel. Players want an upgraded team plane. The current plane is too small. There is no Wi-Fi available. And there are seats with ashtrays in the armrests. Players specifically responded that our plane is the worst thing, size, space, safety, and it's not conducive to preparedness for athletic performance. Do you know that the planes that Robert Kraft purchased, he purchased 2 planes for $10 million. What was it, 2011? They were designed and built in 1991.
Unbelievable.
So these planes are 34 years old. 34 years old. Now, every player has a first class seat, but you still have a plane with ashtrays, and it's 2025, and you don't have Wi-Fi on your plane. Are you out of your mind?
That's insane.
What are you doing? Weight room, F. They think it's the worst one in the league. I mean, how do you promote a winning culture and a winning organization and believe your own bullshit when the players are telling you that this isn't that anymore? I don't understand. I don't understand.
I don't want to go CM Punk because I you know a line I'm about to say. I don't want to say it. Yeah, I don't want to say
Sounds
it. But
like a pipe bomb.
maybe the team would be better when he's no longer here. And I'll just that's just low. I'll just say it like that. I won't go any
We're
further.
never getting any member of the craft organization on the show, so that's out.
Yeah, that's fine. They can massage their way out of it. But I'm good. It's how many times are you going to get embarrassed with these reports before you say enough's enough? Because guess what? Your fellow owner down the Lansdowne finally woke up a little bit and said, "Hey, they've been talking enough about me. I need to do a little bit of something." Once again, I'm not going to go out and get every free agent, but I need to do something to make incremental improvements. So, you got embarrassed in 2021. You spent $250,000 in, real money. But and let me say this, and you know where I'm going with this as well, because you brought this up as well. We have in this case, we have a Michael Felger way of thinking in this regard. That the cap is crap. Philadelphia is getting whoever they want. Whoever they want, they're getting. Don't tell me that you can't find a way to put in signing bonuses, deferred money, whatever angle you want to go at. Once again, you found money for massages, you could find money for these players. It's that simple. I want to see a better product, period. I do not expect the Super Bowl every year. That's insane. Once again, some fans are like that. That's a joke, in my opinion. But I expect you to be in contention. I do. Once again, you've had 30 years where either you only had Bledsoe, then Brady, and then you unfortunately had to have 2 or 3 years with Mac Jones, and then now you got Drake May. You've hit in that department. You've hit there. You've done really well. Figure it out. So need a 2001 type offseason. Need to bring in a Vrabel. Need to bring in Anthony Pleasant. Need to bring in Otis Smith. Need to bring in Jermaine. Like you need to bring in some guys that say, okay, we haven't done much elsewhere, but we could play, and put them in. Harold Landry, who's now on the I think on the trading block. He played for Vrabel, and he had 10.5 sacks last year. Bring him here. That's how you turn it around, Robert Kraft. That's how you get a better grade. Bring in guys that are actually talented, not guys that were, in the warehouse at Walmart 3 weeks ago, and now trying to fight for a spot. It's ridiculous.
Well, we're about 14 days away from the start of free agency. Vrabel has come out and went at the combine saying, quote, "I'm confident we're going to be aggressive. We've started some of these discussions internally. We have to be ready to pivot and adjust and have a vision for each player at each level." There's going to be this high level financially that things are going to get done very quickly. That will transition then to maybe some mid-range dollars. And obviously you look at opportunity. Free agency gets broken down into compensation and opportunity. I feel like we're in a position to offer both. When asked about how much say he's going to have in terms of the draft board, the free agency, he said, quote, "I wouldn't be here and I wouldn't have wanted to be the head coach here if I wasn't comfortable with my impact on the roster."
Love that.
What do you make of those comments?
Love that. Once again, that's what you're supposed to say. You better feel that way. And yeah, once again, I think to an extent, Kraft saw an error of his ways last year. Once again, I do think that
bridge truck.
Well, back at the bridge truck, but I'm saying as far as just the investment in coaching this year clearly was much different than it was really in years past, the last 4 or 5 years, obviously. You couldn't rest on the laurels anymore of having the best coach of all time. And once again, and I'll reiterate this because I think it's relevant because of what we just talked about with him being ranked 24th, talking about Mayo. And then you let him go to Carolina a few years ago. Let him get his lumps there, build the Rolodex, and then you say, you know what? I know we didn't give you the initial promise, but now that Bill's gone, we want you to come home and I'll give you a 5-year investment. Boom. A lot of us would have been like, okay, don't love that he didn't do great in Carolina, but crash spending, crash wallet, maybe it's better. Cool. You have a whole different outlook going forward. But you didn't do that, and you caused unnecessary vitriol to be spewed all over Gillette Stadium and mainly at Glen Jarrett Mayo. So it is what it is. But to the favorite point, like I said, absolutely love it. Glad that that's where his mindset is. I think that the team is going to be, and once again, it's cliche stuff. Oh, they're going to be tougher, but I really do believe that. The toughness factor has been gone for a while. Like they've been a finesse team, I would say, since like 2017 in general.
I don't know. That's 28. I mean, look what that defense did against the Rams in 2018 Super Bowl. Like, I mean, they held them to 3 fucking points.
Yes, they held them to 20 from 2019 to now. They've been finesse. That team started out 8-0, and then they just sputtered. So from that game against Baltimore, ironically, Lamar Jackson was the one that exposed them, and then the rest was history.
I think you need to get off the whole Lamar thing with me, dude. It's just never gonna happen.
Well, no, I'm saying it was ironic. That's the guy that it was a beginning and the end. It was because of him. That's also here. Because that changed everything. That defense.
The real end of that era was because of Vrabel down here.
Right.
What I want to, I just one last Patriot note before we can move to the other, just one other story in the NFL I want to talk about. The rest of this quote, though, this is what I find is so interesting. It feels like there's already that internal fighting. Quote, "We want to continue to have great conversations with the personnel staff, with me, with the vice president of football operations and strategy, John Streicher, and with coaching. We're all just trying to find ways to bring the right players in here." Who did he not mention?
Elliot Wolf.
Do you think Vrabel does that by accident?
No, but I remember everybody that's talked about him has mentioned he's also my birthday twin. Let me put that out there. We're both August 14th. So if I can add a little insight, it's absolutely on purpose. It's absolutely on purpose because when we're not a fan of someone, we will do everything we can to be dismissive of them. Once again, not going to be a complete dick about it, but you're going to know, and that's what's going on. And I, for one, am here for it because I'm the same way. So keep it going, coach.
Other quick NFL note. The Rams have told Matt Stafford that he can talk to people in the open market to find out what his value is. The reports are that he wants $50 million per year. If you're the Rams, why wouldn't you give him that? Because the alternative, in my opinion, unless I'm missing something here, you either pay Matt Stafford $50 million, or you start Jimmy Garoppolo, or you go and you pay Aaron Rodgers $50 million. Stafford has completely changed my opinion of him. Sorry. Stafford has completely changed my opinion of him. When Detroit Stafford was like, no, God, no. If you say something, I'm more than likely just going to.
Who's been the biggest supporter of him on this show? It's just the man that's on the screen.
Yeah, but no, I agree with that. But his toughness factor, I feel like, has elevated since he left Detroit. Obviously, winning, yeah, but he's been.
He's had that from day one.
I just feel like his game, for whatever reason, like he gets banged up. I know he doesn't miss that much time, but it just always felt like he was just going to be a guy that had $1 million arm, 10-cent head, never won anything. Then he gets to LA with a great coach, good defense around him, And he's consistently now, even Aaron Donald left. Matt Stafford still makes the playoffs. Cooper Kupp gets hurt. Matt Stafford still makes the playoffs. Puka Nacua gets hurt. Matt Stafford still makes the fucking playoffs. Why would they let him go, dude?
Well, he's 36 now, right? 36? 37, 36?
36, 37.
Well, he'll be 37, I think, going into the season. I'm biased. So people that know me on and off the show, he is who I wanted to replace Tom. I was like, if you can find a way to trade for him, go get him. And I was getting laughed at then. Are you crazy? You playing Detroit, not this. Okay. That fit. Like, once again, but to your point, Calvin Johnson left, he still was putting up numbers.
Yep.
It wasn't like he dropped off because Calvin Johnson retired. He was still giving people work. So that let me know, oh, this man is a problem. And you didn't say this, but and this is just because I was offended. I feel like you were starting to compare him to Phillip Rivers, and I was just like, I wasn't gonna let you do that. And that's what you were kind of saying. You were saying that, oh, that's what he was becoming, or he would have became. And I'm like, look, man, but what he's done in LA is what I always envisioned. I'm just like, nah, if you give him the roster, he's going to deliver, and he did. And once again, he even got to Detroit. He even got Detroit to the playoffs 3 years, like, and they was beyond dormant. Once again, Joey Harrington, John Charlie Batch, Charlie Rogers. You name it. It was out of control. And this man comes in, and once again, the reason why I say that stuff was there from day one, you know, that not documentary, but it's the what's the thing that NFL Network does? I forget the name of it. But anyways, it's really like the game within the game. And I'm paraphrasing, but basically it was against the Browns his rookie year. His shoulder damage falling out of place. And they're like, no, you know, just on the sideline. And he's like, F that. I'm going back out there. Gets the game-winning touchdown. And I'm like, oh, this dude's a baller. So from then on, I was like, I'm a fan. So I always have a few guys I irrationally attach myself to. And in the NFL, he's one of them. And I think that, you know, he vindicated me when he won a few years ago. But he's a baller. Was Stan Kroenke still the owner over there? I don't know who's it. But Les Snead's GM. Les Snead, get it done, brother. Sign him. I'm sorry. Because once again, like you said, what's the alternative? You're gonna wait to get there's only about 2 or 3 quarterbacks in this draft. That once again, that may actually be something. You're not training at the
their backup right now is Jimmy G. So we know that he'll play great for 5 games to get hurt. Or it feels like the plan is Aaron Rodgers. Get him out there.
And
if that's the plan, that's bullshit. Because I at this stage of their career, you know what? Fuck it. Any stage of their career, I would take Matthew Stafford over Aaron Rodgers. Always. Twice on Sunday.
Wow. Okay. That's more about your Aaron Rodgers than anything else. But okay.
Correct.
I'll let you get. But that's fine. That's woo. This could be a good one because between the LeBron and this one, and once again, I'm always gonna be in the comments to help defend or even laugh at stuff. So I'm here for it. So say whatever y'all need to say. Just don't get out of pocket because we will come for you. But so it's just like that, man. Pay him. I know. No extension.
Just to put this in perspective,
I'm a big fan of his game.
It feels like $50 million is a lot. Is a high asking price, right? I agree.
Not now.
But just in terms of actual cash spent, so like, I don't care about the cap. It's crap. But in terms of actual fucking cash, here are the quarterbacks last year that made more than Matthew Stafford, Aaron Rodgers, Kyler Murray, Trevor Lawrence, Jalen Hurts, Tua, Mahomes, Deshaun, Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, Kirk Cousins, Jordan Love, Jared Goff, Dak Prescott.
Crazy.
Come on. I mean, you telling me if you were the Cowboys, you wouldn't want Matt Stafford as your quarterback instead of Dak Prescott right now?
Oh, for sure. That would be a homecoming too.
Right.
Yeah. To me, and Jerry's not going to do it because he's loyal to a fault, obviously. He's loyal to the wrong things, unfortunately. But I would absolutely look into trading Dak Prescott. Absolutely. Absolutely.
He's making $60 million a year. That's not
Right.
his cap.
But you have to at some point. Okay, and this is a wild take. So you had yours. I'm gonna have mine for the night, or another one for the night. I mean, if you're the Giants, you don't look into that.
Don't look into
Could
what?
you, like looking to get someone like Dak Prescott over there,
Someone like Dak or Dak?
or I'll say to get Dak Prescott over there, because once again, it's not
Fuck no.
Sir, it's not for certain. And once again, as much as I like Cam Ward and as much as I like Shedeur Sanders, it's not for certain those guys come in there day one and start balling. But that's the problem is that's going to be the expectation, especially with Shedeur. He's not going to get a caveat. He's not going to get a mulligan. We know this because of his last name, because of how he's not going to get a mulligan. So if he's got to come in there balling from day one. Once again, he likes that pressure because of who raised him and how he likes to ball out. But he's got to come in there day one swinging. Because if not, it's going to be like, just another Bronny 2.0 type shit. Like they gonna talk real reckless. So, I don't want that for him. I don't want him over there for that. I don't.
Well, I mean, the Bronny comparison would just be like,
New York City's different, and I understand that he's built different because he was raised by, the best cornerback of all time. I get that. He's not that. So I don't want.
Are you saying that as a negative or a positive?
That he's not his father?
No. Did you say he's not Dak or he's not?
Well, no, he's not his dad. Like he's not like I'm saying, like
well, sure.
So here, once again, not many people are, so I get that, but it's just like I don't want him to be ruined from the jump being in New York. I'd rather get Dak continue to get ruined because we already know what he is. But I think that he would. I mean, even though he's not the best quarterback, he would still do wonders with Malik Neighbors. Like Malik Neighbors did wonders with Daniel Jones. What do you think he'll do with that?
Is Malik Neighbors better than CeeDee Lamb?
No, but he's really good. He's really good. He's really good.
No. He's great. But like, haven't we already seen what happens with that?
Right, but I'm saying sometimes you just need to change the scenery. That's all I'm saying. Sometimes you just need that. And
so the Giants would need to give up probably their first round pick this year and take on that salary, at least, in order to get Dak. I wouldn't do it. Fuck that.
But I don't know. But to me, if you're not looking to pay Micah Parsons, I think it was funny. I think it might have been on NBC Sports Boston because they were talking about us trading number 40 and Micah Parsons. I was like, yeah, absolutely. Are you kidding me? Fuck, I'm doing Carter the rest of the apps. And yeah, Micah Parsons at 24. Hell yeah! And if that was the case, I'd be at Logan with the sign like welcome to New England, buddy. Like get ready to learn clam chowder. Are you kidding me? Absolutely, that would be phenomenal. But that's a pipe dream if I ever heard one. But so that's not gonna happen. But I say that to say, if you're not going to pay everyone that you're looking to pay, even though the salary cap is going up to projected $281 million, where I think 60 million is that what? So 3 out of 21, 3 out of 14. That's 20% of the cap to that. Yeah, see if you can find a suitor. Somebody say yes. There's always a sucker. There's always a sucker. Always.
And then you're gonna pay Neighbors probably $25 million a year. So now you have $90 million tied up between two players. You can't do that.
But you gotta think of it from the Giants' perspective, right? After you strike out, well, not strike out, but after you lose out on Saquon because of your stupidity, and once again, Giants fans, y'all could cope all y'all want about how he wasn't doing that here, the line wasn't that good, he got injured. Once again, give all the excuses you want. The man got the Philly right away and won. And was a major reason why they won. Wasn't a secondary player, but it's someone that kind of had a couple of good games. He was the man. and he's the reason why they won. So that, like I said, he's putting running backs back on the map for this moment. Because this is a deep running back draft. Very deep running back draft. And we better get one. At least one. I want the kid from Arizona State. We talked about it before. If not, Drake May's old teammate, Amarian Hampton, would be amazing here. I just, you would love him, Mike. I don't know if you've seen him play, but he's really good. And once again, I've been writing on some of their stuff.
Can we wait till the third round?
I don't know if he'll be there though. That's the thing. He's good. I don't think he'll be there that late. So I like Scatterbo from Scatterbo from Arizona State. He'll be there in the third round, and I think he's James White 2.0. Like,
get him. That's all I need to hear.
Yeah. So we're missing that in this offense, especially if you don't bring back Antonio Gibson, right? Like, you have to go get someone that can produce in that manner. So I'm cool with that. I don't know though. I don't know. I obviously Aston GT will be the first back off the board. Because he was the best back in college football last year. But it's a deep draft for that position. So we got to walk away with at least one. Got to. In my opinion.
We're shocker. We ran long. Before we go, go ahead and give me your little Red Sox nugget.
Oh yeah. So listen, Red Sox fans, we should be excited, man. Obviously, the last time we got a left-hander from Chicago, Chris Sale did wonders for us here. Helped bring a championship here. Did really well, pre-injury. Obviously, he won a Cy Young last year in Atlanta, but just Garrett Crochet, man, he came as out.
By the way, that's my favorite part. Like you knew that if you didn't say it, I was going to, but you had to say, and he won a Cy Young when he left here.
Right, had to say it. But I was always clamoring about Chris Young. I don't know who's Chris Young. Chris Young played in the Major League too, but I forget. But he played in Texas. But Michael Young, one of the two. Somebody named Young played him. Anyways, Chris Sale to me for a long time was the best person in the American League. And I think we're approaching that category where Garrett Crochet is going to be in that mode soon. To have 4 strikeouts in an inning and 2/3, yes, there was a couple hits that were given up. But that's current baseball. Like, it's not something where he's going to be dominant every start. The fastball came as advertised. The cutter came as advertised. The off-speed stuff came as advertised. So he walks around like a big game pitcher. And if you've seen how he commands the mound, and it's early to say this because, we saw what this guy does. He reminds me of John Lester. Just look at the build. Look at just how he commands the zone. And if he's anything like how John Lester was here, we're back in business. Tell you that right now. We're back in business. If he's at the top of the rotation, like how John Lester was, we're in a good spot. You just gotta make sure that we don't do what we did with John Lester and not pay. We gotta pay him. If we didn't pay John Lester, we should have. And he won another one in Chicago 2 years later. So if he plays well, which I think he's going to, you need to lock him up because you got it from this year and next year. And then, I think he would go to arbitration. So make sure you sign him. And then Alex Bregman, came as advertised too. Hit a nice, 2-run bomb on Sunday as well. So, yeah, I think the lineup is going to do wonders. I'm excited to see what Roman Anthony and Christian Campbell do. I think one of those guys, if not both of those guys, make their roster all day. So, yeah, it's a good time to be excited about them again because they've added some really key pieces. Chapman looked good today as well. I think he hit 101 on the meter. So it's like, yeah, they got some guys here that have done well in other places that if they stay healthy and stay locked in, we could have 2021 vibes again when they make another deep run. So I'm excited right now. But I look forward to seeing how they grow over time.
Love that. And just for continuity purposes, the Bruins, they still suck. So they need to blow that thing up. So,
yeah.
And
we'll still lead as well.
And
crazy.
We typically only talk about the Red Sox or Bruins on this show. We should do a better job. We're going to try this year, obviously. But if they're really, really good or really, really bad, that's when you're going to hear about them. And now the Bruins are really, really bad. So we might have to dust off the old they'll talk track for the Bruins, because it might get fun to discuss how they're going to dismantle this team and rebuild. We will do that at a later date. For Hollywood Rayshawn Buchanan, this is Michael Marcangelo saying thank you so much for listening to MTP Boston. We will talk to you later.
Hi, I'm Sherilyn Fenn from Twin Peaks. What did you do on your last Saturday night?
Did you hear something?
Toilet paper.
There's none. Nada. The reserves have gone dry. People are hoarding it. I should have done that.
They're all out of hand sanitizer at my Target.
Mark, when did you last watch the news?
We are getting reports of forced quarantines in China, Japan, and now Italy.
You're cutting onions in half and putting them around your apartment.
Yes, exactly. It kills the COVID.
Excuse me?
Let's go. Let's go. Get in.
Vamos, rápido.
Have you ever driven one of these?
Never.
I'll drive, ladies.
I've got the keys.
Excuse me, I'm lost. I'm looking for my wife. I got turned around.
Join me, Eric Roberts, Jennifer Elise Cox, and Ed Asner for The Last Saturday Night, an Electrocast podcast. You'll love it. Electrocast. Electrocast.